And good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another pre-dinner drinks here on a Friday night, 6:30. It's not very nice out. 4 weeks ago, we were sat outside. No longer than that. 5 weeks ago, I think we were sat outside for the first time. It's crazy how this weather's changed. I got wet. I went outside and got a bit wet, so it wasn't very nice out. It was warm though. It was freezing when I went into the shop. Outside it was quite warm. Walked into the shop, it was freezing.
Air conditioning?
Yeah, clearly. I don't know. I could have been getting the cold shoulder from a lot of people. It could be that.
You're used to that, surely.
I am used to that. I am. Yes. Good evening, everybody. Hello there, those of you that are joining us.
Hello.
I hope you enjoyed that little bit of dancing. 2008, that last dance was at Strictly Fitness First Dancing. It was the very first event that we ever ran, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do anything else, but that was the first thing we did. It went really well. It was packed. They took, those of you that have been to the gym up in Fareham, they took all of the equipment out of the room. Everything. Which was quite an undertaking, wasn't it?
So it was a big team effort, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of,
And
got involved.
And, so the fitness instructors at the gym and the guys who worked behind the counter and that sort of thing, they all took part in the competition. So it was really well supported. 144 people, I think we had in there. 144.
That was a lot, anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people at the time didn't want to do. Oh no, I think we charged a tenner to come in. Oh, I don't want to pay that. And then they suddenly realised near the end, like a week before, oh, maybe this is going to be quite good. And so we packed out because it was great. It was a really good night, wasn't it?
It was.
Really good night. So, yeah, and that particular waltz, if you were with me this morning when I did the lockdown workout, I used that waltz that we just did then as the last song in our exercise, and I quite like that dance, that song.
Yeah, it's
we
pretty,
should.
isn't it? We don't know what it's called.
I just call it piano.
We don't know the actual name of it.
You can't Shazam it; it doesn't come up with anything. Yeah, so we want to do another show to that, perhaps. So that might be something we're going to look to do if we're ever allowed to get into a dance studio again. Yeah. If we can remember how to dance. I know you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle.
Yeah.
You're going to struggle. Yeah. So Kelly.
So Jane.
We have a topic of discussion for this evening.
Do we?
Again.
I don't know the
we
topic
did.
yet.
Do you not know what the topic is?
You haven't told me.
Well, everyone else knows.
I've not been privy to this information.
It's on Facebook.
I don't read Facebook.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't really very much at all.
I'm zooming in on us. There we go.
Oh, don't
No, it's just slightly better. Slightly out of focus again. So hang on. Go on. Come on, get in focus. Get in focus.
Yeah.
There we go. A bit bigger on the screen now. What was your first car, Kelly?
My first car.
I've got a very itchy nose tonight. Anyone, if I'm scratching and rubbing my nose a bit, hay fever's kicked in a bit today for some reason.
Is that the topic? First cars?
Yeah. What's your first car?
My first car was a Holden Barina.
You'll have to explain that for some. Actually, no. Do you know what? Don't. Let's see if anyone actually knows what a Holden Barina is without looking it up.
So there's an equivalent in this country.
Yes.
There's an equivalent.
What is a Holden Barina?
But it's not called a Holden Barina here.
We'll hold the line.
Hold on. We'll just wait.
We'll just
wait
wait.
until you can
Cheers.
answer.
Cheers.
Yeah. Happy Friday. Yes.
Yeah,
it
happy
is
Friday. I don't know who's with us tonight.
Happy
actually.
Muggy Friday.
Yeah.
And it was second hand, but it had only done 10,000 kilometres, so I was pretty lucky. My mum and dad had to help me there. They had to go guarantor for me so I could get the loan because I'd never had a loan. Yeah, but I did pay it off.
Well done. Well done for
and
paying
I
debts.
sold it when I moved over here.
Ah, marvellous.
So,
Splendid.
yeah.
I don't think anyone's actually listening.
Nobody cares.
No one is responding at all. A golden Holden. Here we go.
A golden Holden.
See.
It was red.
Darren. I think Darren's on the right lines. Well, choose one, Darren. Choose one or the other.
One or the other. Yeah, you're on the button, but you got to guess the right one. Yeah, it was red. Yeah, it was red. It was near new. It was a really good buy for a first car. Yeah, I was pretty lucky. And I was pretty lucky when I sold it because they held their value quite well.
We are freezing a bit tonight. We're not freezing through here, but Facebook is freezing up.
Corsa then.
It was a Corsa.
It was
a Vauxhall Corsa.
Same as a Vauxhall Corsa, yeah.
Kelly, do tell me, what was your first car when you came to England?
A Vauxhall Corsa.
There you go.
But it was much older.
And it was red.
And it was red as well.
Yeah.
But it was much older. It wasn't near new.
But it was a marvellous little car.
And
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It took us all around everywhere. I think I remember I drove it all the way to Sheffield. Oh, my foot ached.
Yeah.
Oh, it ached.
Why did you drive all the way to Sheffield, Kel?
Because you lost your licence.
Yeah, down the back of the sofa, I think. Yeah.
James accumulated 12 points. Very early on, and I wasn't really used to driving over here, so I was most unhappy about it. Didn't like it, did I?
No.
Especially didn't like driving to Sheffield.
And you couldn't get insurance on my car.
No.
It was a green Mercedes, E-Class Mercedes. I loved that E-Class
That's
Mercedes.
why you got 12 points.
Yes, it was a bit quick. It was a bit fast. And then it didn't work, did it? It got mouldy.
That's because you had the
sunroof
sunroof. It busted, and you couldn't close it, could you? So whenever it rained, all this water got in.
Yeah.
And it went all mouldy
terrible.
inside, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Gutted. You can, yes, Darren. Not Darren. Peter Maisie says, "Can we ask dance-related questions?" Of course, you can ask anything you want.
Of course you can.
But the last couple of weeks, of course, it's been a little bit of a damp squib. No one's really asked us anything.
It's been really quiet, but yeah, please fire away with
Fire away with whatever you like. But I just thought I'd start off the conversation tonight with
what's your first car?
what's your first car?
Yeah, so that was my first car. Holden Bruno, my first car over here.
But no one else has.
Corsa.
Oh, here we go. We've got some people on there. Vauxhall Nova. Yes, it was. It was a Vauxhall. Vauxhall Corsa.
Vauxhall Corsa, and
there we go.
yeah.
So some people did look it up. You little cheats.
I think I've even got a picture somewhere of me posing with it when I first got it. I'll have to find it.
I've seen that. I've seen that picture.
Yeah. Oh, I was so young.
You asked me what my first car was.
What was your first
a
car?
yellow Austin Montego.
There you go.
No, that's not it. Fine pair of shoulders. That's not it. That's a.
That is a Vauxhall.
No, it's
that's
not.
That's a Holden
That's
Marina.
a Suzuki.
Yeah.
It's a Suzuki. Now,
it was older than that, obviously, so it
Australia,
looked quite different.
Holden just don't stick with the same brands for some reason in some of their range of cars. So sometimes they're Suzuki, sometimes they're Vauxhalls.
But they just put the Holden badge on it, if that makes sense.
Very strange.
But anyway, it's similar to that.
No, it was a Vauxhall Corsa. Everyone knows what a Vauxhall Corsa is.
For goodness sake.
That's a Suzuki Swift.
Yeah, but it's just a newer.
I didn't say you did cheat, Blenworth Beauties. You're so sensitive, aren't you? God, after your debacle the other week, you're so sensitive now. You won the quiz on Wednesday night. Just be satisfied with that. Just be quiet.
Oh dear.
Jonathan Latter says, my first car was a VW Golf Mark II. Good first car. I wrapped it round a tree. Not a very good idea.
Oh.
Ask my mum what my dad's reaction was like. Well, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Oh dear. So yeah, yours was a yellow.
Mine was a yellow Austin Montego.
You've had a lot of cars.
Yeah, my God, I do get a bit bored, and I like having a different car. Yeah. If it were up to me, I would have a fleet of cars.
Yeah, you would.
I'd
You're a bit of a fanatic.
3 or 4 or 5 cars that I could choose to drive at different times.
When James goes to buy a car, he'll go somewhere and he'll know about, like I say, a dealer, and he'll know about every single car on their list, won't you? Mm-hmm. You know about all of them. You say, oh, and I know you've got this, and I know it's got that, and they go, oh, have we?
I know more than they do.
And I just sit there and I go, he's been looking for a long time.
Yeah. The last couple of cars I've had, though, have been excellent.
You do your research, don't you?
Yeah. One of the Darren says I'd have my Rover back for sure. No, probably not. Peter Maisie's asked a great question. We will come back to that question, Peter. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, my Montego used to run out of petrol going up hills.
Oh, bless. Was that the first one?
I only had one Austin Montego.
Was that the first car?
Yeah. I mean, I got it for my 17th birthday. I think my dad traded, I don't know, a pair of old cricket pads for it or something. But it was it got me about. It got me about. It was
got you to
it
dancing,
was an Austin
didn't it?
Montego. I started lessons on Monday, passed my test on Friday, drove to my lessons on my own on Saturday. Mental. Mental. Yeah. But it is, yeah, because obviously when you're young and you haven't got any money, you're driving on fumes, and where we live is a bit hilly, and literally it used to run. It would start spluttering if it went uphill.
I remember doing that when I got my car raised. Well, I can get a little bit further.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Well, I remember I used to fill my car up, and it used to cost me $30. Nothing.
That's
was nothing.
Pennies. Australian dollars weren't worth anything then either, were they?
No, well, if you bought anything over here, you times it by 3. So, yeah, that was nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
$30. Oh, someone's being
What's
rude.
that? So we've got a sky blue Ford Fiesta Mark 1. That's very sweet. And then a nice gesture, a hand gesture. Is that the sort of gesture you do out the window when you didn't have any indicators? Glenmouth Beauties.
Guy does, yeah.
Yeah. What else we got here? So Margaret Latter's first car was an Austin A30. It was black and it cost £30 in 1969.
Wow.
30 quid.
30 quid. That's how much it cost. Well, no, that's more than what it cost to fill up my car. But not by
Yeah.
much.
Let's not talk about my car, shall we?
No.
No. Although, to be honest, with the petrol price at the moment, it's a dream. Not that I'm using a lot of petrol.
I
I
haven't
filled
filled
that
my
once.
car up at all.
No, I filled that once.
Should probably fill it up before the prices start
Definitely.
going back up again.
Definitely. It's like 15 quid cheaper to fill my car up.
Mm.
Darren hasn't mentioned his first car, but I know his first car was a Fiesta as well.
Fiesta.
It was a Fiesta diesel. It was burgundy.
Burgundy.
A diesel Fiesta.
Love a bit of burgundy.
And no, red. So it was red. It wasn't burgundy. It was red. He had another burgundy Fiesta that he didn't do so well in that one. Yeah, he had a bit of an argument with a hedge. Linda's first car, Linda Bloomer, was a Vauxhall Viva. Nice. They brought that back now, haven't they?
Hello.
I don't know if you know that, but you wouldn't know that. The
wouldn't know
Vauxhall
that,
Viva brand is back. It's smaller than a Corsa.
Oh, okay.
Is it between? Because they've got the Adam, the Viva, and then they've got the Corsa. I don't really know where they all fit.
Which
Who
one's
calls a
this?
car an Adam? Who came up with that idea? How much did my first car? Well, my first car was a present, so I don't know. The first car that I actually bought myself was a Vauxhall Cavalier. D-Reg, 1988. It was a Vauxhall Cavalier 2-litre CDI, and I bought it when I was 18, and it cost me, I think, 1,850 quid.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
When you're 18?
Well, it was a top of the range car. I was involved in a car accident when I was 13, and then I got some payout for that because the bloke hit his head on and stuff like that. And I got injured, and it was held in a trust until I was 18. When I was 18, it matured and I could have it, so I went and bought a car.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I bought myself it was a super car. I loved that car. Brilliant car. Fab.
Wasn't there a car that you had where you racked up like 200,000 miles or something? Where you took it to dancing all the time?
No.
Nothing like that?
Oh, no, yeah, I had an Audi A6.
Hmm.
Yeah, loads of miles on that. 256,000, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my Jag I had before that, we racked up over 100,000 in that.
Didn't we get 180?
No, but we personally
Oh, yeah.
racked
we
up
did,
over 100,000
yeah.
miles on that car. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Darren Hampton. We used to have a totally different views on fuel tanks. I drove full to full. You drove on thoughts and prayers. Yes, Darren. Quite right. Yeah, but you actually had a job. I didn't. Well, I did, but I just spent all my money on dancing. So, yeah. Peter's first car was a Triumph 1500. Oh, nice. Honda 50 moped was no good when our first child was born. No, not a good idea. No, you can't strap a child to your back on one of those, really, can you? Yeah, Darren says Ford Fiesta 1.6 diesel was his first car, followed by the Burgundy 1.8 Fiesta, which is what I was mentioning originally, which didn't look quite so good upside down.
Oh.
It didn't know. He was a lucky boy. Lucky boy. Peter Mason says, what about the best car? Mine was a Mark V Cortina. Mark V, is that the slightly... that's the boxy one, right? That's the boxy one, I think. I think the boxy one's Mark V. My dad had one of those. He had I think it was one of those. He had a Ford Cortina Crusader, which was just before they got rid of him and turned him into Sierras. It's a great conversation. I'm loving this conversation about cars. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's lost on me.
Yeah, what's your best car?
My best car? What have I had?
I know what your best car is.
I did have an Audi TT before we had Ella. It's a nice. I bought a second-hand one of those. That was quite fun. I mean, it was pretty battered actually, but
battered. It wasn't battered.
It was pretty battered.
No, it wasn't. What are you talking about, battered?
I thought it was. Anyway. That was quite a fun car. It was fast. Put my foot down.
Nice.
It used
Yeah,
to go.
it's nice.
And obviously it used to handle very well. So when it snowed and everything, I was fine.
Well, it's four-wheel
very
drive, wasn't
confident.
it? So it was brilliant.
But when I had Ella, I then had, we changed that car obviously when I was pregnant because getting in and out of that wasn't very fun. And what did I get?
You got a Qashqai.
Qashqai, yeah. And actually
You've had two Qashqais.
I had two Qashqais. Really great car. Not extremely exciting, but really great car for families, getting children in and out, that sort of thing. So, and everything just worked. Peace of mind, easy, perfect. So probably out of those two, but two very different ones for different reasons. I like Audis actually. I do like their styling and stuff like that.
My sister. Sorry,
but
go
also
on.
I'm quite practical. I'm not bothered if it's that stylish.
Well, I don't think it's very difficult to know which one's my best car that I've ever had.
The one you got now.
The one I've got now, clearly. Sarah, my sister Sarah says my first car was a bus. Well, just think, you'll never ever get stopped for speeding, Sarah, will you? You'll never get stopped for speeding. And she had a quilt set for her 17th birthday, which is marvellous. Which is marvellous. Delightful, I think, actually. That's beautiful. Yes. You've probably still got it, haven't you? Well, I think Glenworth Beauties have said something else, and so have Fine Pair of Shoulders. My first motorbike was a 250cc Greaves Scrambler. Super cool.
Super cool.
I've never ridden a motorbike. I've been on the back of a motorbike, and I don't like it.
My brother, his first vehicle was a motorbike. And I think it was my uncle's, actually. So I'm not quite sure, I can't quite remember. But anyway, eventually he did get a car, but he got one of these V8 Ford things. It was quite beautiful, actually. Yeah, and he did a lot of work. It was blue with, chrome and, very, very nice looking. I don't know what it was, but it was Ford.
Fancy. Fancy.
Anyway, so is that enough about cars?
Well, Darren says something about the one with the 4-litre V8. The Cortina. I don't think any Cortinas had 4-litre V8s. Granadas might have done. I don't think they had V8. I'm not sure.
Glenworth Beauties. Our second car was a Mini with no reverse gear and a steering wheel that would come off when driving. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
We all need a story about a car that falls apart, but I've never... Yeah. Well, the Vauxhall Corsa didn't fall apart, did it?
The one that I got you for 350 quid.
I know.
It was awesome car.
It just needed... It had a lot of oil. We used to have to keep topping it up with oil, didn't we?
It was an older car. L-Reg, wasn't it? 1994.
And actually, someone came along and snipped the fuel pipe and stole all my petrol one day.
Once, yeah.
Yeah, it was really... I was like, what's wrong with my car?
Yeah. That was the car that you decided to reverse into another car, wasn't it, Ian?
We've told them that story.
We have told them that story.
But it was another old car, and they got those proper hard bumpers.
Yeah.
That I think they don't use now because they hurt people if you hit someone. We literally just bounced off of each other. There was no damage to the cars whatsoever. So, you might hurt people, but you bounce off other cars apparently. At slow speed, anyway.
I don't. Peter Mason says about motorbikes. I'm not into motorbikes at all.
So you don't know what it is?
No, I don't really understand them very much. I can appreciate them, but I'm not into motorbikes. I prefer
brother,
4 wheels and the roofs.
He used to have all these like sports bikes, like a Yamaha R1, if that means anything to you.
Fast. That's a racing bike, right?
Yeah, one of those proper fast ones. But now he's more into like a Harley and things like that. So, yeah. Totally different, but yeah, he's into all that sort of thing.
Splendid.
Always has been. I used to quite enjoy going for a ride on those. Used to have to hang on pretty tight though. Yeah, so is that enough on
there we go.
then?
Well, I think probably so.
What was his
Peter's?
question?
Should we go to Peter's question?
Yeah.
Then we've got another part of this as well, because there was 2 questions I asked.
Mm-hmm.
What other country would you want to live in? What did I say? I can't remember exactly what I said. I can't remember what I said now. I'll have to have a look. Just talk amongst yourselves, Kel.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Talk amongst yourselves. If you could live in another country, where would it be? No, that's not now. We'll talk about that. Talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. If you could live somewhere else, where would it be? That was what I said.
Okay.
So Peter's dance-related question was: how did you get the coaching job with Cambridge University? What type of competition did they enter? that they needed a professional coach. Well, first part of that question. Well, actually, I'll answer the second part of the question first, so then it'll lead into the first part of the question. So, obviously, there's a lot of universities throughout the country, and there is an inter-university dance circuit. So
and it's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, massive.
It's really
massive.
well supported.
There's the majority of universities have got a dance team, a ballroom and Latin American dance team. So they've got in the union, they've got a dance, what do they call it, a dance faculty, not faculty. I don't know what it's called.
Committee.
Whatever. They've got a dance group for social thing, and as part of that, they've got a dance team, and so they have competitions throughout the year, going against other local universities. So they've got a southern division, I think, a Midlands and a northern, and that sort of thing, and you all compete against each other. And then they have a big grand finals in Blackpool called IVDA. I can't remember what that stands for, actually.
No, but basically it's all the universities all come together.
I don't know, IVDA.
All come together
For the finals, for the great big finals in Blackpool. And it's
and
been going for years.
What they call like team matches and stuff,
team matches.
And they all have to accrue points, and then obviously the university that gets the most wins overall.
Yeah. So I was asked to, when we were competing, I was asked to teach at the Imperial College in London. A lady that was teaching there, a lady called Dorothy Charlton, who was a fan of my dancing, and she'd been doing it a long time, and she wanted someone to take over.
And basically,
and she chose me.
She found out that you just got qualified or something.
Yeah, I just qualified as a pro, and she decided to get in contact with me and ask me if I was interested. So I went up there to do it, and it's an interesting situation because you get interviewed by the students to see whether you're good enough to teach them, which I thought was quite funny, actually, quite funny. Anyway, as it turns out, I did it. I taught them, so I ran the beginner classes up there as well as some intermediate classes and that sort of thing, and I taught the team ballroom team couples. So I was in charge of putting the couples together and that sort of thing, and getting them out into competitions. We did really well. So I was there for 3 years, and the last 2 years we won the ballroom section of the grand finals at Blackpool. So the Imperial College ballroom team won. I don't think they won overall because the Latin team wasn't as strong, but the ballroom, I got them to win. So it wasn't me. It wasn't just me. It was a couple of others as well. But I was the head ballroom coach. And then, because we did so well, and we were good friends with another guy who was in charge of the dance team in Cambridge, David Malabone, he basically headhunted us and asked us to go and teach for Cambridge, didn't he? And because I taught for the Imperial College, Kelly didn't, and it was always a bit of a pain that Kelly didn't, because they had different lady teachers. You see, they had, and it would have been ideal if a partnership could have gone and done the teaching. So anyway, so Cambridge offered us the opportunity as a couple. So I left the Imperial and went to teach at Cambridge for 2 years, which was great fun. And it was great, wasn't it? The students were lovely and really engaging, and it was tremendous.
It was good work. It was very difficult though, because obviously we drive to Cambridge
every
Saturday.
That was the problem.
It was 3 hours drive.
So it was a 12-hour day, because 3 hours there, 6 hours of teaching every Saturday, and then 3 hours back, and then sometimes I'd go during the week as well.
Yeah. But it was, at the time we were competing, so it was perfect because. You're busy all the time anyway, and when you compete you don't have a social life as such, do you? So we did that, and then we taught all day Sunday as well.
So in those days, Saturday and Sunday were our teaching days. That's all we taught, really. Mostly,
yeah. We did a little bit during the week, but not a lot.
Yeah, and then we did training for our own dancing during the week. That's how it happened. So we got headhunted, and Cambridge won, didn't they?
They did.
They did. They nicked me from the Imperial, got Kelly as well in the bargain, and the ballroom team won. Just goes to show.
Yeah, it was good fun. I did enjoy it.
We did it for 2 years, and then we had enough, really, because it was a bit too much.
The driving and everything, wasn't it? Yeah.
So that was your question, Peter. Oh, I just lost it. So does that answer your question, Peter? Hopefully it does. I just think it does.
Good experience of the kind of teaching, isn't it? Because you're trying to fast track couples into competing, so you get them pretty raw from beginner, and you've got to try and get them out there confidently around the floor, which as you've all tried dancing now, when you first do it, you can feel a bit inhibited, all these sort of things. You've got to try and get them ready quite quick.
It was always quite funny as well, wasn't it? Because they were always desperate to grab hold of the new intake of medical students.
Yeah,
because they have the longest degree. They're there for so long. It wasn't just medical students; there were some others that were longer degrees as well. You didn't want the ones that had a year, just there for a year, and that sort of thing, waste of time.
Yeah.
Because when you get an intake of people,
they have different levels of teams.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And so if you get them in October, the grand finals is in February. So you've got no time. It's such a short period of time to train them up and get them ready. So if you had a couple or a student that was going to be at the university for a long time, you knew you could work with them for a period of time and then develop their dancing, which was good. Which was good. It was great fun. And Southampton University have already got a dance team, very well established, taught by local professionals. But the Southampton Solent University don't have a dance team, and so it's something we've been trying to get inroads into for the last couple of years. But for one reason or another, it's kind of fallen by the wayside. But it's something we're going to look at doing again. Actually, try and get in contact with them because they are literally around the corner from where we live as well. So that'd be quite handy, wouldn't it?
Convenient.
Very convenient. Very convenient.
As long as they got somewhere to dance.
Well, they've got all that new leisure centre, haven't they?
Yeah. So that's that.
So there we go. Yeah. What was the other question on there? What was it the question?
No, there's no question.
Oh, this was an
answer about where you would live.
Right. So, Julian of Blenderworth Beauties wanted a T-shirt.
Oh.
So he's a large. I mean, to be honest, he's probably a large, just about. He'll show off his pecs beautifully. So, whilst I know you're watching, Julian, I had a little rummage to see what T-shirts we had. I've got 2 T-shirts, 2 styles in large. I've got a Wapacha in black, in large.
Wapacha.
And we've got a Corte and back Corte in large. So whichever one you want, that'll be for you. They are for sale if anyone wants them. I've got some, of course. I'm going to come up with some more designs as well. Before it was sadly knocked down. What are you talking about, Darren? What was knocked down? Oh, here's another question. No. Do you ever have moments in a routine when your mind went blank? If so, how did you cope? I think we had this question before.
Yeah, something similar.
We did. Well, go on, you can answer it.
No, not by the time we're going out on the floor to compete, because by the time you get to that stage, when you're actually at the comp, you've done your routine so often you don't have to think about it. So it becomes muscle memory. And also, I think when you black out, a little bit of that has to do with nerves. So once you've learned how to deal with that and not panic, not let that get to you, then you tend to not have those problems. It's just about getting conditioned to it, getting conditioned to competing itself. In terms of practice, I think when we're first laying down routines and things like that, we used to just do them again and again and again until we could just dance them without having to think about it. So, like I say, repetition, isn't it? That's the magic answer, is repetition. Do it again, do it again, do it again. You've done it wrong, go back, do it again.
I don't think that. I don't think we never really had that problem, did we? I mean, I have to say I've done it sometimes in medal tests and that sort of thing with couples. Oh, sorry, with students, because
you're trying to remember
so many routines. So you do have a bit of a blank moment.
With experience, if something goes wrong or you forget something, you just keep going. There's no. The best way to learn is just to do it.
The good thing, of course, with ballroom is that when you've got someone in your arms and you're in charge, you just do something else. So with the level of experience that we've got, we can just do something else. We won't just stop. We'd never just stop. We do something else, and we just go into a movement, and hopefully the person you're dancing with would follow you. But we'd never just stop, which is lucky, I suppose. Yeah. With me, it's about not concentrating because I think I know it and I suddenly don't. Well, that's just practice, Peter, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just practice. The more you do it, the more...
Like, say repetition.
What are you talking about, Darren Hampton? That comment doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Because we were talking about universities and Southampton Solent University, and then you said, before it was sadly knocked down, have you ever been to the Royal Navy School of Dancing? and then he's saying Joanna's in Portsmouth. What has that got to do with anything? And Nick Kelly just joined. You've missed it, Nick. It was earlier. You missed it. You missed the dancing.
You missed the dancing.
You missed your basic rumba.
Why was he on there?
Yeah, he was doing basic rumba today with Cheyenne. Yeah.
I missed it too, obviously.
Well, you were busy getting yourself sorted after your exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, I killed myself.
Well, you're okay. You're still here.
Yeah, not literally, obviously.
I finished Insanity today as well.
You're not happy though, are you?
No, I'm not very happy about it. He wants the Corte, please, and can I have one too?
The Corte one.
And what does she want? What do you want, Blenworth Beauties? You want a Corte or a Wapacha?
I've got a Corte one.
I've got a blue Wapacha.
Yeah, I quite fancy another one actually. I'm going to have a look through this.
But you have to pay for it.
Alright.
Can't just have it for free. It's company. It's company
Alright,
stock.
calm down,
It's not
dear.
personal stock. It's company stock. Yeah.
That's my not impressed face.
So Kelly, the other question: if you could live somewhere else, where would you go?
Oh, that's really tough.
Ah, Trevor's joined us. Hello, Trevor.
Obviously, the easy answer for me is Australia because I have a passport. So it'd be quite simple for me to just go there and live, and I know what it's like. Yeah, I don't know though. Is that if I could choose anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world. That's the question. It's open.
Like I say,
Right this moment in time, I know where I'd go.
Somewhere, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah, because they got no coronavirus, back to normal.
Yeah.
And I can probably live there as well.
Yeah.
Probably no problems. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd be quite a hermit if I had my choice. I'd live somewhere like
As far away from anyone else as possible.
well, no, maybe not the Maldives because I think that's going to go underwater.
Yeah, they
isn't it?
will. They're going to get flooded at some point.
But it's somewhere quite remote. So probably somewhere remote in Australia would be perfect for me.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I do love though the English countryside. I do. Yeah, I do love England actually.
It's delightful. At the moment though, it's just too small. If you go into the outback of Australia, you can be completely lost, and no one need really find you ever, which is marvellous. Whereas England's just too small. Yeah. But not that I'm suggesting we need to hide from anything. That's not what I'm saying.
Got a lot to hide. Yeah, but the thing is though, living over here, and what's different to living in Australia, although it's incredibly beautiful, very peaceful in places, or it can be very cosmopolitan if you go to the cities or whatever. There's a lot of choice. What's different about living over here is it's more accessible. So it's more accessible to travel here. So you can go, to other countries quite easily. I appreciate at the moment we can't, but under normal circumstances, you can travel very easily from here, which I quite like. And it's quite diverse here as well.
Yeah, it's great.
You can have lovely peaceful countryside, and then you're not far away from the hustle and bustle of major cities either. So I don't know, that's a tough choice for me. Tough choice for me. Ultimately, I think I'd probably love to have somewhere to live here, somewhere to live there. So when it gets too cold and horrible here, go off to Australia, have a little place out there you can hunker down in and chill out in, then come back here when it suits. That would be the dream for me, I think. What about you?
Well, I'd like a place in Italy.
Oh, yeah,
I'd like a place in Italy.
We've travelled to Italy on holiday. One thing I think, though, is that if you holiday somewhere, it's different to actually living there, isn't it?
Well, that's true.
I mean, Italy's an amazing holiday destination, isn't it? What it's like to live there, though, we don't really know, do we? We know people that do, though.
Yes, but I wouldn't. No, I'm not suggesting I'd want to necessarily. No, yeah, if I could live, it's living somewhere else, isn't it? But it's hypothetical, isn't it?
It is hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical question because it's not really going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. At this moment in time, it's not going to happen.
Well, not let's even travel anywhere, are we?
No, exactly.
So yeah, but Italy's an amazing holiday destination, isn't it?
Fact.
We loved Puglia, didn't we?
Puglia's lovely.
Puglia.
Yeah, lovely. We went to the boot, didn't we? Down to the boot.
Yes, yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I like the sort of simplistic, laid back lifestyle there. It's quite nice, isn't it? But then I liked going through France and stuff as well. I'm a tough one to please. I like it all. Jew would be in Italy or Canada, and I'd follow him anywhere.
Oh, would you? Until he's in trouble.
Romantic.
You'd follow him so that you could throw stuff at him.
Even if he yeah. Even if he didn't want you to, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada. Well, I've never been to Canada myself. You've
Travis,
been to Canada?
I have. Yeah, it was lovely. I went to Vancouver. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I drove up to Whistler, and that drive from Vancouver up to Whistler, awesome. Drove through some fabulous places. Wish I could do it again, actually. I didn't know it was Whistler.
I know you told me.
I just saw a mountain in the distance, and we'd hired a car. I said, "Let's go there." However long it takes, and just pointed the car.
Yeah.
No sat nav, obviously, in 2002, early 2002. No sat nav, nothing. Just literally follow signs and look at a mountain. Took us 3.5 hours to get there. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, it wasn't
Nothing.
too bad. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah. There you go. Anyone else got?
Trevor says, "Isn't Australia full of criminals?"
Oh, for goodness sake, that's such a ridiculous joke.
Yes.
Sorry, Trevor.
It's not as bad as Joanna's though, which was full of skate bait.
What?
I don't know. I don't understand where the discussion about Joanna's came from in Portsmouth.
What's skate bait?
I'll let Trevor explain.
Okay. I don't know what skate bait is.
Hang on. Now, Peter Mason says no brainer France every time. Yeah, France is lovely as well.
I love France as well.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to hate the idea of
French
France.
background as well. Oh, stop it. Family history.
I used to hate the idea of France, but having had our holidays where we've driven through France,
it's lovely.
It's awesome.
Lovely.
Especially the south of France.
And again,
delightful.
what a diverse place. Really.
Very, very diverse.
That's what amazes me, because Australia's quite diverse, but you have to travel quite a long way to see it, and there's lots of nothingness in between. Whereas like England and France and Italy and all that, it's all so close and little in comparison. And one minute you're there, and then the next minute you've got this little village, city, whatever. Yeah. So that's why I suppose that's quite fascinating to me, because I'm being from Australia, where you have to travel so far to get anywhere. It's quite nice to not have to drive 5 hours to be in a different city.
That's true. Yeah.
And see nothing really in between.
I don't know what you mean. What's gaffer, Peter? Gaffa. I'm not entirely sure what gaffer is.
Gaffer.
You'll have to explain yourself.
Is that an abbreviation?
I don't know. I'm guessing it is. And Margaret Latter says that she's got a brother-in-law, is it? A brother-in-law in Tasmania.
Ah, I've never been to Tasmania.
She's been there. She went there in 2001.
Oh, I've heard it's really nice though. They even have skiing there.
Do they?
Yeah, it gets cold enough.
I don't think I can read that out, Trevor. I don't think I can read that out.
Is he being rude?
He is being rude. Not rude, but
naughty.
Yeah.
A little bit naughty.
He says Joanna's was the sort of place they could sweep knickers away up after closing.
Oh, for goodness sake.
He would know, of course, because he used to work there as a cleaner. No, he didn't. I don't know. He might do.
Oh, dear.
He might have done.
Is that in Portsmouth?
It was in Portsmouth.
Oh, okay.
It was Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that anymore.
I don't really remember going there, actually. I know where it was, but I don't ever really remember going there.
I don't think I need to know if you did.
I don't remember. Yeah, honestly,
I
people weren't leaving knickers on the floor that I remember, because I caught them when they threw them at me. I didn't leave them on the floor.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
Yeah, it was there, wasn't it? Yeah. Trevor says, I thought I picked you up from there a few times. What, were you my driver? If I was in Joanna, I'm not suggesting I was, if I was in Joanna's, I would only have been in there with you, Trevor. I would never have been in there with anyone else. So, yeah. But I didn't used to drink in those days, did I? So I'd have been the driver. Anyway.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think that was it's kind of like quashed.
It has, hasn't it? Yeah.
It's ended the
The
conversation.
middle of Australia, I was told that by an Australian soldier. Oh, Gaffer means the middle of Australia.
Oh.
The great Australian...
That sounds about right. I've never heard that.
No, I never heard that term.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I don't know about the middle of Australia. That is proper remote.
Yeah, I couldn't live out there. But and also far too hot. I mean, I'm from... oh, my goodness.
Go on.
I'm from North Queensland, and it gets really hot. Really, really hot. I mean, we had Christmases sometimes... I mean, really bad ones where it got to like 40 degrees, and it's just... It gets to the point where it's really unbearable. I do remember sometimes getting sent home from school because it was too hot. Because children just can't concentrate and things like that. So yeah, I'm not sure that I'd like to live in that extreme heat again. But maybe somewhere where it's a bit warmer than here most of the time.
Yeah. Stay safe, Julian. Be careful on those ladders. He's fallen off a ladder. That's a picture of him falling off. Well, not of him falling off a ladder. That would be.
He was on a ladder and it fell. Oh, for goodness sake. He is so accident prone, isn't he?
Yeah. But having said that, there's some things.
That picture makes his arm look quite skinny, doesn't it?
Tiles on my roof that need sorting, Julian. So when you've sorted it out, you bring your ladder around and have a little look. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Any more questions? Come on. Any more? Any more for any more?
The Gold Coast. I did live on the Gold Coast as well.
You did?
For 4 years, I think it was. That had really good weather. Most of the time. So I'd probably live there again.
Yeah, Gold Coast is lovely. Been there, it's nice.
And again, you can be a bit more remote, or you can be a bit closer to the centre, which is quite nice.
Oh, we've got a question here. Are we going to do the 2021 World Youth Latin Championships again next year? No, we're not. Yeah, because
not the youth.
You can't do the youth.
You can't do the same one each year. So we can apply for a different category. Can't we?
Yeah. Not a different age group.
Different age group.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean by
category.
Yeah.
So we can't run the youth again for 2 years. So it would be something else. But we are planning to run a World Championships of some description. But everything's been put back now. So there was a meeting.
Supposed to be in Blackpool.
Supposed to be in Blackpool, and Blackpool hasn't happened. I don't know when the next meeting will be.
We need to sort of think about it, really.
But we had every intention of running a World Championships again next February. But the idea...
we can't run the
we
youth.
did apply for one. We did apply for one, but we don't know whether we've actually had it sanctioned yet. So we can't say anything yet.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see. But we have applied. But it won't be youth. We're not allowed to do that. And we have to have different judges as well. We're not allowed to have the same judges.
Yeah, it's quite...
Oh, no, hang on. No, we can have the same judges. They just can't judge the same thing. So if we have something different, we could have the exact same panel, actually, if we wanted to.
I don't know.
You take care too, Trevor. Be careful with all those knickers on the floor.
No visiting Joanna's. It's probably not...
It's not there anymore.
Okay, well, that's probably a good thing.
I'm sure those nightclubs on the front, on the coast there, on the seafront in Portsmouth have all gone, actually. I think they've all gone.
If anyone wants to look up somewhere I used to live, they can look up Ephraim Island. That'd be interesting for you.
Peter Macy says, I drove from Alice Springs, I guess, to Darwin. Every few yards along the 1,500 miles of road were beer cans and bottles.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
There's not a lot to do, I suppose, if you're caught in the outback, is there?
Yeah. Paying performing rights, how does that work?
I don't know, Peter. The other question, I have no idea, Peter. Perhaps it's a discussion we should have another time.
Performing rights.
My mum says, could it be called the under-21? No, it can't. So it doesn't matter how you package it up. It's still the same event.
It's still the same events, yeah.
And also, you can't
run the same event.
You can only run events that are on offer, and the under-21s isn't on offer. It's a youth under-21 or a youth under-19. You can't make one up. So I'm going to run the under-21s and a halves. You can't do that. No. So it has to be a different age group. Yeah. Any more questions? Come on. Dead air, Kelly. We can't have dead air.
Oh no.
Can't have dead air.
No, we've hit dead air.
Yeah.
I think our time is nearly up anyway.
Well, it's not that up. We haven't even done an hour yet. It's only 7:15.
That's okay.
We've been talking for 8. It seems like we've been talking lots.
That's 45 minutes. These things normally go for about
Well,
an hour.
hour and a half normally.
No, they
Yes,
don't.
we are.
An hour-
Normally an
last
hour and a
week-
half.
Last week we did an hour, I'm sure.
Last week we did an hour. Yeah, we kept it quite succinct.
Succinct.
Yes, that's with a double C.
I think everyone's gone.
They haven't. There's 11 people watching on Facebook.
Oh.
And on YouTube, we've got
Oh, come on
3.
then. Send us another question.
4. It's 4 people watching on YouTube.
Go and look up Ephraim Island. Maybe that's what they're doing. I said that.
Oh, are they all looking up Ephraim Island, are they?
Maybe.
Ah, I see.
It's EPHRAIM.
Yeah.
Ephraim
Well,
Island.
I could call up a picture.
Yeah. And I used to live and work there, which was quite fun. I did enjoy it.
Ah, here we go. Harry Redknapp bought the plot, which had Joanna's on it, and then he sold it for redevelopment. It's now a big retirement complex.
Oh, there you go. What's for dinner?
Well, it's for Ella fish and chips, for us chips.
There we go.
Yes.
Fish and chips are similar.
Yeah. Pea fritter I'm having. I'm having a pea fritter.
Pea fritter?
I love a pea fritter.
I don't like a pea fritter.
I love a nice pea fritter.
I don't really like pea fritters.
I like a pea fritter. That's what makes us different.
I like a pineapple fritter.
Really.
Yeah, I like a pineapple fritter. I like
Fruit
pineapple.
should not be put in batter.
Why?
Well, they
but
shouldn't.
peas can be.
Peas are fine. Peas
And
are vegetable.
chocolate can be.
I didn't. I wouldn't
They
put chocolate.
do that. They do that up north, don't they?
I-
They put chocolates in.
Not on my plate.
Mars bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do deep fried Mars bars and things.
No, pineapple fritters. Well, I used to work in a chicken and chip shop.
Yes.
And we used to make
chicken shop.
banana fritters and pineapple fritters. I didn't like the banana ones. I did like the pineapple ones. Did quite like that. But was something else that
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, talking of pineapple, I don't think they have them over here, but we used to get these Cadbury Dairy Milk bars that had different fruits in them. Not actual fruits, but inside.
Fruit nut.
You know how you get like strawberry cream?
Oh, I
They
know.
had a
what you mean.
pineapple cream one.
Ugh.
Oh, it was so good.
That wasn't pineapples, though. You know, it wasn't pineapples
I
at
know it
all.
wasn't real pineapples.
No pineapples were harmed in the making of that chocolate
No.
at all.
But they're not
None
the
at all.
strawberries either. In we're talking about
Yeah.
Cadbury's here, so we're not talking about proper good chocolate, are we?
Yeah.
So yeah, they used to do like strawberry, pineapple, and something else in this bar. I used to love that.
Yeah.
Pineapple and chocolate go really good together.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they do.
I'll take your word for
I made you a little pineapple chocolate dessert.
it. I
You
don't
loved it.
remember.
Loved it.
I don't
It's
remember.
a healthy one though, so it's not very exciting.
I don't remember. What was that then?
You do it with the yogurt, and you add some chocolate protein powder,
Oh,
and then
that.
add the
Yeah.
dark
Yeah.
chocolate
Yeah.
and
I
a
was
bit
thinking
almond
of some sort of
butter and pineapple.
baked chocolate and
No,
pineapple
no.
dish.
No, I'm sure there's something though.
Do you know those chocolate bars I make?
Yes,
I'm sure that you could use that. I'm sure you could use.
could probably do something with pineapple with that.
We could, couldn't we?
Mm.
We could make a biscuity base.
Make some kind of pineapple cream. Pineapple and coconuts.
Might work actually. Might be right.
Oh, I'm a
Should we try it?
genius.
Should we try
I'm a
it?
genius. We're gonna have to come up with a. I'm gonna have to come
You
up.
sounded like the Mighty Boosh then.
We have to come up with a recipe. Maybe that should be the next recipe. Is your chocolate bars?
Yeah, well, it's not my recipe. It's someone else's recipe.
And we said that, and then you said, "Oh, it doesn't matter."
I know, but that's completely me. I'd have to follow the recipe.
Okay. Well, what if
From
we come
him.
up with the chocolate pineapple?
Well, let's try it. Let's try it.
see if we can come up with something.
It might be disgusting.
It won't
We
be.
might have to do it first and then see. And then
Well, we'll have to test it first, yeah. But
Yeah.
we've got to work out a way of making the coconut pineapple things.
well, we have to look it up. How to make up a coconut pineapple cream, and then everything else we know how to do. Wonderful.
There we go. Ideas are brewing.
Peter says he's off to pick some veg before dinner.
Oh, nice.
He says, dig up your lawn and plant veg. We've got a very small garden. So
Well, we would have room for veg, but yeah, we wouldn't have any room for being able to be
for
out
activities.
there.
No
for
room for
activities, no. Also, we do get a lot of slugs. We get an awful lot of slugs.
And pigeons.
Yeah.
We'd have they'd eat all our veg. Can you make batter without eggs? Yes. Of course you can.
Yeah, I think it's just flour and water.
Yeah, it's flour and water.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very easy. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Lemon squeezy. I'm glad you didn't use the other one that you normally use.
What's that?
I'll tell you later.
I don't know. I don't know any other one.
So know any other ones?
I'm so innocent.
Oh, no, you're not.
So naive.
No, you're not.
You
portray this image of innocence, but you're not. Any more messages on there? Nothing on there.
There's
People are
nothing
very
that,
quiet tonight.
There's nothing that I know that you don't know.
Say that again.
There's nothing that I know that you don't know.
That's about right. Yeah, everything you know, I
well,
already
no,
know.
That's
Yes.
not, well, that's not true.
Yeah.
There's lots of things I know that you don't know. There's lots of things I know better.
Oh.
That's what I mean.
You wait till you get home.
I am home.
You wait. You wait. You're not getting out of this office alive. I'm quite tired tonight.
I am too. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I literally just did my workout before this, didn't I?
Peter says our veg patch is 10 foot by 10 feet. You don't need much space. Well, that would basically be all of our lawn.
10 foot by 10 foot.
Approximately.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
So
wouldn't be able to walk around it.
if we had double the size of what we've got, I've already said it. Actually, I'd love it if we had a little vegetable patch and everything.
This is probably what eventually we probably want to move again.
But I then want a gardener to do it for me. I don't like gardening.
No, I think you would probably get into veg growing when you're a little bit older.
When I grow up.
When you grow up.
When I grow up,
when
yeah.
you grow up.
Yeah.
I think you would quite enjoy growing veg. I've got some radish in a pot. I need to dig them up, I think, and see if they've actually grown. I don't know if there's actually any radish or if there's just plants.
Wow. Yeah.
Sticking out the top. But they should have grown by now.
Yeah.
Are you looking up?
Well,
Batter without
Margaret
eggs?
says that flour and water is just glue, but I made batter because I made the fish, didn't I? The vegan fish and everything.
Yeah. You can add like cider vinegar and stuff like that, can't you?
I had beer in mine. That's what it was. It was beer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they add beer to butter. You definitely don't have to add
Don't have to
egg
add
to butter.
egg at all.
Yeah.
It's just water and flour. Yeah. Yeah.
The
It's just
basic
water and
mixture is water and flour. Yeah.
flour.
So yes, when you eat batter, you're basically eating glue.
Yes.
It's only because you fry it in fat that makes it taste good.
Yeah. Peter says he remembers his dad using flour and water as wallpaper paste, which, well, that's fine.
Cool.
It doesn't matter. Whatever works.
We don't actually eat a lot of batter, do we?
Oh, it wasn't Margaret, sorry. It was Teresa. Teresa
Ah.
Latter. I just saw the latter. Yeah. 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 But no, there are... Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. You don't have to have eggs.
We don't actually deep fry anything at home, do we?
No.
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 Because you don't like the smells.
No.
James is very finicky about frying anything because
No, I couldn't think of anything worse.
the smells wafting around in the air.
It's very difficult. You've got the extractor on, but it gets into your clothes. You go up to the bathroom and you've got doors closed. You got to the bathroom, dry yourself after using the bath or whatever, and your towel smells of it. It's been locked in a bathroom. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's because towels are absorbent.
Yeah. They are quite absorbent, aren't they?
You're trying to fill in time.
I am trying to fill time.
Oh, dear.
Sarah says, how are the mushrooms doing? We haven't planted them yet.
We haven't. No, they're in the fridge because I don't know what to do with them yet.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. But we've been doing a bit of decorating and things as well, and where we need to put them, we've got to put them somewhere dark. And the only place we can put is under the stairs, and we're going to wait until we finish
I can't
the
put
paint.
them under the stairs. There's nowhere to put them under the stairs.
Well, that's what I mean. We've got to try and find some space for it.
There's storage cupboards under the stairs.
Oh, car dancers have decided to join us just before we finish.
What colour is your office wall? Oh,
Which wall? Which one?
You're an idiot.
That one. Orange.
Oh my goodness. He's so annoying.
Go on, Kelly. Tell them the name of the paint.
I will write it to them because it's easier because I don't know how to pronounce it actually.
Tap it on the screen.
I can't
It's
do
touch
it.
screen, Kel.
I can't do it.
The
There we go.
touchpad's not working, that's why.
Oh. Do you know how to pronounce that?
De Nimes.
I think it's French. I think it's a place in France. Well, it's named after.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, I painted this office. How long ago?
Oh, I was away, wasn't I?
You were away, and I was really ill. really, really ill.
I did a competition, I think. Yeah.
But I had to paint it while he was away because he used it all the time. So there was no opportunity to actually get in here, get all the stuff out when he wasn't going to be using it, paint it all, and then try and get it all back in by the time he got back. Yes, yeah. And I had really bad sinusitis. I was really, really ill. Obviously, I was looking after Ella on my own as well. So I was basically doing it after I took her to school, come back, paint, go and pick her up, whatever, all that sort of thing. Yeah, it was pretty grueling. Actually, it's not a very big room, this, but it was pretty grueling. I did paint the ceiling as well, just to freshen it up, just in white. But yeah, because I was so poorly, it took me a long time. I was a bit slow.
I don't like decorating very much at all, so I'm glad that she did it when I was away.
I painted our whole flat when we used to live there. Painted all that by myself, didn't I? And I was pregnant. Big belly and all, climbing
Well, I
up
was
the ladder.
working. You couldn't do any work, could you? You couldn't dance with anyone. That great big belly.
I did teach up until 8 months.
Not only couples.
Oh yeah, but I was still on my feet a lot. I remember the day I stopped. My feet, my ankles were like round. I've had enough. Just I'm not doing anymore. Yeah, but I did paint everything in the flat. So I've started to paint at home here. Started with this room because it's the smallest. I've now done the living room this week.
Yes, and there's a blog about it if you want to see that. If you haven't
Which is
seen
not
it
a very
already.
big room either.
Well, none of the rooms are big in this house.
It took me 3 days in total, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because it's an active room. We're doing things in it, so you can.
Yeah, it was hard because obviously each night, so I moved everything, and then each night I sort of put it all back.
And we can't do anything until after the lockdown workout each day.
Yeah.
We have to. Our days don't start until 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because you have the lockdown workout at 10:30.
It's hard to get started. Well, I did move stuff about before then and stuff.
Yeah.
And also my day's very much controlled by.
Hang on, I got a phone call.
A phone call? You can't take a phone call now.
No, I can because I think it's our food.
Oh.
Hello. Hello. Are you outside?
I didn't hear the door go.
Okay.
Are they outside?
Yeah, they didn't knock the door, did they?
I
Talk to them.
Go. I've got to talk to you now. Forget what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Sarah sent a shocked face. Okay, don't know if that's bad. Yeah. So painting this week, did it in between Ella's homeschooling lessons and stuff as well. But actually it wasn't too bad. One day I painted a radiator cover and then the other 2 days painted the walls. I was glad that's over. Dining room's next. I'm going to do that myself as well. Oh, you read it? Love the green sofa. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've had that since we moved in. So we've had that for about, I don't know, however long we've lived here, 3 years or so now. I do like the green sofa as well, except it's not very good when you've got a 5-year-old who likes to eat in the living room and watch TV. It's very difficult to keep clean. They like our green sofa.
Do they? Who's they?
Car dancers.
Oh, they've been looking at the blog, have they?
Yeah, they've read it.
Are they walking down the road and looking in the window?
Yeah.
Which some people do.
Eventually I want to get around to painting the whole house, don't I?
Yeah.
I've been choosing colours. Yeah. Eventually I'll get there.
I hate that green sofa. I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
Well, I love it, but I hate it.
You don't like the practicalities of it?
No, I'd love it if it was just mine and no one else could sit on it. Because I know it'd be fine. But because Ella sits on it and... We even had a professional cleaner come out, this is a while ago, come out and try to clean it.
They couldn't clean it.
Couldn't clean it.
No. Because it's velvet and velvet's very...
So it's
funny
ruined,
fabric.
Basically. And,
it's not ruined, it's just marked. It's just a bit marked.
Ruined. And you want to get a dog.
No, I
don't. Destroy it.
I don't want to get a dog. Ella wants a dog. It's either have a dog or have a baby. That's the problem, isn't it?
But no. It's not happening.
It's to keep someone company. We have the cat. So for those of you who don't know, we have a cat, and it's Ella's cat that she got for Christmas. But she's not a very cuddly cat, bless her.
Sarah says
she's
no
quite
one.
a normal cat.
Sorry, she's a misery guts.
she's not.
I nearly
She's
said a rude
just,
word then.
do you know what? She's a diva. That's what she is.
No, she's just miserable and antisocial.
No, she's not.
And
she is quite lovely when it suits her. That's all I'm going to say. She's a diva. She's a diva.
Do you know what we're going to do now?
What?
We're going to go and eat because I'm hungry.
Okay.
Sarah says, Sister Sarah, no one's day starts till 12 o'clock.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know what you mean. Normally, our days did start a lot earlier than that. Do you mean just currently, if you're not actually working?
No one's day.
But I mean, to be fair, Sarah doesn't go to bed until about 4 in the morning, normally. So that's probably why her day doesn't start until 12.
I can't do 4
Sarah's 12 is everyone else's 8.
Lots of people in our street leave for work quite early, don't they?
Do. Yeah.
There's lots in our street that obviously still been working.
Went out earlier, and I came back about quarter to 10 to 6. I came back. There's rush hour traffic.
Crazy.
Coming out of town.
Yeah.
People queues, so it's almost back to normal. Traffic wise. Anyway.
Won't be long then, I'm sure.
Let's hope not. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Great little chat tonight, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
It was
We
fun.
learned some stuff about people. We've got it all as records as well because they've messaged us. They've got it in writing.
We've learnt about cars.
We've learned about cars and where they want to live.
Yeah.
And where we can find them if they try to escape. Yeah. That's it then. Have you got a final message to them, Kelly? Final note?
Just, keep supporting. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. If there's anything that you do want to see us do, then...
be careful what you're saying.
Well, yeah, within reason.
Yeah.
Send suggestions.
Yeah.
We are working on things, aren't we? Just takes a bit of time. It's hard, isn't it? Because we're trying to take the opportunity that we've got now at home, like to do things like decorating, but then we're trying to think, oh yeah, but I could be doing that blog post, or I could be doing that video.
I spent 4 hours today. I know it doesn't seem like I spent 4 hours doing the video you saw at the beginning of tonight's pre-dinner drinks.
Setting it all up.
But that's because I did something in it that I hadn't done before, and I taught myself how to do it.
We're learning as we go.
So it took me 4 hours to do that. But I did have to choose the videos and that sort of thing, and it takes a little while to choose videos sometimes. Doesn't normally take 4 hours, but I did something new.
The inspiration one as well.
Yeah, you've got Kelly's got to do her my inspiration videos. That's all set up, ready to go. You've just got to choose your videos.
I have thought about it, so I need to sit down and choose a video.
And you've got to do it on your own. You can't do it with me there.
No interference. You mean no interference from you?
Nope. I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you to it. I might even take Ella out. No, I can't because you'll need to No, you don't know what buttons to press. I'm going now. We're going to go now.
I know about paint colours and sofas, and you know about
all the techie
things.
stuff and cars.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much once again. So Kelly, we'll see you in the morning.
I'll see you in the morning
at 10:30 for another lockdown
Saturday,
workout.
Tomorrow.
It's the same as today.
Got through another week.
For us, it's the same as today.
I'm just saying we've got through another week.
Another week. Well, actually, we don't want to be excited about it. Another week of this.
I'm
it's a week closer to the end, I guess.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're getting closer and closer to coming out of it, aren't we?
We are.
So that's how I'm trying to stay positive.
Good girl. Good girl.
Even though I'm quite miserable most of the time.
Yes. She's all smiles at the moment. As soon as I turn this camera off.
No, I'll be alright because I'll have some champagne. I'll be fine.
Yeah. It's
or
not
some sparkling.
It's not champagne.
Sparkling wine.
Anyway. We will see you all soon. Kelly will see you Saturday, tomorrow morning. I'll see you on Monday. Jessica and Matteo will see you on Sunday for some dancing as well. Don't forget to tune into that. If you haven't already, everyone's having a great time with those classes. And that's it, isn't it? So it's good night from me, and it's...
Good night from him.
So we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.